telling you guys about the best, worst reenactment ever. And it's really the best worst because of my experience. It was the best because I had friends and there were some really good impressions there, so it did make for a good time, but the weather and my allergies did not work out for me. So I'll just tell you a little bit. It's Bermuda 100, I think it was April of 2014, definitely the spring, and I came down with Faith and Mark Henson, and they're this really lovely couple, and so I rode the Metro North, I think it's the Metro North, to them. And so I had everything on my back. So I had my big backpack as well as my rolling backpack, and that's how I got all my stuff there. So this is, if you guys remember when I first started, and I still do this, but if I couldn't fit it on my back, it wasn't coming with me to a reenactment or to a living history or interpretation. So I come down with Faith and Mark Henson, we unload. I'm waiting for my friend Mia because we are doing an impression together. We're gonna be contraband. So about 2 hours later, she comes, we're so happy, hey girl, yay! And I see other friends, I see the Brantleys, and I'm so excited to see them. And this is before they had the baby, so they really, Amanda was telling me about allergy meds. I remember this, and I should have known from that moment that it was going to be a horrible weekend because my allergies were already starting. People who know me know I have horrible allergies, and this was before I started getting the shots. I think my first 19 reenactments, I had no proper meds. Like, I was on medication, but nothing worked. So it was like, it had no effect at all. So that was, that was the worst. Anyways, so Mia and I are like, hey, let's get set up at our site. So he directs us to a road, what we like to call the contraband road, where they put us over. It was horrible. It was just a mud pit. We are not very prissy, so we were just like, okay, we'll make this work. We put out a painted floor cloth, and that thing gets sucked down into the mud. Like, there is mud pouring over. I wish I had taken pictures of this. It was crazy. And we were just like, we're sleeping here tonight? This is absolutely ridiculous. So we go back, we're like, no. Well, mate, I am like, no. He is like, we're gonna make it work. I'm like, girl, we are underwater and mud. We are not staying here tonight. So I go to the coordinator and I say, hey, is there any other options as far as sleeping arrangements? And he's like, no problem, over there. Okay, so we get set up. And then we do have a friend who has a baby, and he was 2 years old. I think he was so cute at the time, Jonah. So she went to a hotel, smart choice, just because children need rest, and she needed her rest, and she was very tired. So glad she went to a hotel. But I was hanging out with friends, and my dress, okay, so it starts to rain, and we run into a friend's tent, and I sit down on a box, not knowing that my entire dress is on the floor, and it's actually like a slope. So as it's raining hard, all of the water is coming into the tent behind me onto my dress. So I'm sitting there, I'm just talking, y'all know me, I love to talk. I'm like, da, 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 da. Hey girl, da, 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 da. Hey girl. And it was before first person started, so we're really getting to know each other, meeting new people, hanging out with old friends. And then someone comes in and they're like, Cheney, your dress is out of the tent. So you guys may have seen me in this dress. It's a gray and white striped dress. It's my very first dress. No, it's blue and white striped dress. It's my very first dress. I love this dress, but if it gets wet, it's 20 pounds extra. So I knew that I could not use this dress for the rest of the reenactment. I just couldn't. So I was miserable for like, it was so horrible. I tried to make it work. I tried. So I ended up taking off the dress. I think someone let me use their tent. And so I put on my petticoat, satin petticoat, and I really love this one. I got it from Kim Baresic, the top part, the sack. It's really beautiful. So I wore that for the rest of the reenactment. But we should have known it was just one after other after other. Okay, and so I go to the tent. So we go through the first day, you know, reenactments. The first day is really getting settled. We go into our tent. And we were really expected to sleep outside, but our friend had a tent open, so we weren't gonna be like, no, we're not gonna use a perfectly good tent. So I was so glad we did that because it started raining again that night. But I remember we started a fire. We tried to start our own little fire because I think we brought some sweet potatoes. We were gonna make some sweet potatoes. This fire took forever to start. And usually I'm really good. I'm like boom, boom, boom. No, this fire was just not starting. And even eventually we had a friend come over and he was like, I don't know what's wrong with your wood, your fire. It looks dry, but obviously it's not dry. So we ended up, we finally got the fire started, but it took so long for us to get started that we were just like, we're not hungry anymore. We just weren't hungry anymore. So we were like, let's go to sleep. It took us literally 40 minutes to put out that fire. I don't know what it was. We had sand, we had a bucket of sand. Guys, it was horrible. It was horrible. Yes. So, so at this point, we're just like, let's just go to bed. We're so tired. We get in the tent. I think I had a blanket, Mia had a blanket, and we were like, let's share blankets. So we put 2 blankets over us. And so at first we're just like, hey girl, this is your side, this is my side, we're cool. The weather starts to plummet. It gets so cold. I remember after like 15 minutes of just laying there, I'm like, Mia, are you awake? And he was like, yes. And we're just like, it's so cold. I remember just the cold. It was just so cold. And it was probably like 55 degrees. But it was just so cold. And so we're shaking and we're shivering. And I remember us trying to go to sleep. And I think it would be like every 10 minutes, I would ask Mia or Mia would ask me what time it is. And I know it would only be like 5 minutes had only passed. And so we were like, I remember that. And eventually we were just like, oh my God. And we huddled together and like a ball, we were just like, I remember this so much. We were just shivering the whole night. Even when we were like huddled together, we were still shivering. You could see our breath. It was the worst. Anyways, that night was one of the longest nights of my life. And we wake up and we both have tics. It is horrible. It was so bad. I remember that because eventually we went, the next night we stayed with Janae and her baby, Jonay and her baby, and when we took off our clothes, it was like tick, 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 tick. Oh, it was so horrible. Oh my goodness, we were so lucky we didn't get Lyme disease. That was horrible. And then my allergies were just miserable. I was just miserable. As I said, I was on allergy meds. I was taking them regularly on time, but everyone who knows me knows that allergy meds don't work for me. If it's anything less than a shot, forget about it. I just suffer. There's just nothing to be done with me in allergy season. I just suffer. You know this is my passion because I put up with it, and I'm there. Anyways, that was one of the most memorable reenactments because it was really me and I, that was our first reenactment together, and it kind of really solidified our friendship, and it was just a really good bonding experience. It was so cold, and I met Julie. That was the first time I hung out with Julie and the Brantleys, and it was just, hey Amanda. It was just a really good, it was a really good experience. But would I do it again? Yes. I do it again, even though I would say about 50% of reenactments are miserable, absolutely miserable. It's, you go for the interpretation, you go for the camaraderie, and you just go for the experience. If you have never been shivering, wet, in the middle of a reenactment, you have not lived. But I hope you enjoyed my story of my best, worst reenactment ever. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a good day. Hi, what is your name?
I'm Maya.
Hi, Maya, and where do you work?
I work at Colonial Williamsburg as a sites interpreter.
Yay! And I am here to ask you, what is in your basket?
Okay, well.
Whoa. This is a lot of stuff, folks.
Yep. Have my non-18th century coffee mug.
Lovely.
Cell phone, wallet, ribbon, all the important things in life. Books, playing cards for gambling, Cheez-Its, knitting, and Advil.
That is important. That's
Always.
actually really important. Thank you so much for letting us know what is in your basket. Please have a good day.